The twin 125-mile qualifying races for tomorrow's Daytona 500 are two of the most difficult automobile races run anywhere.
You know, the Daytona 500 is on Sunday, but for so many of the drivers, this really is the crucial day. In the twin 125s we'll see tonight on USA, they'll have to qualify for the Daytona 500. And this is the climax of this annual 2-week celebration of speed, Speed Weeks, here in Daytona Beach, Florida.
And for just a moment, let's talk about what this race means.
43 drivers will start the 500. There are 50 in the two qualifying races today, and some drivers in this race are just racing to improve their starting position on Sunday. But some are racing for their professional future.
That's what these races are all about. There's going to be some surprises. When the day's over with, 7 guys are going to go home, and there's going to be a couple of surprises in those that go home.
And there are about 16 drivers who have an even chance of being on the headed home list.
For those of you expecting the traditional Gatorade Twin 125s, as is the case with all of NASCAR these days, things are bigger and better. 2 races, each one 60 laps, 150 miles.
It's easier to get a bill through Congress than to figure out all the different ways a driver can make the big dance.
Going into these twin 125-mile races today, only 2 starting positions have been assured for Sunday's 500. That's the pole and outside of the front row. Now, the finishing order in these 2 races determines the starting positions 3 through 30. The top 14 finishers in each race, exclusive of that front row already in the Daytona 500, will fill out rows 2 through 15. The final 10 starting birds, the last 5 rows, will be decided by time trials.
Thursday, the suites and pit boxes were packed with corporation presidents, marketing managers, and public relation types, all armed with programs ready to launch the minute their car wins the Daytona 500. Consequently, the pressures on the drivers to win in these economic hard times are greater today than ever before. The first hurdle, however, is getting into the 500, and that's what these 125s are all about.
Meanwhile, struggling back here is the Bud Moore, car number 15 and 7 spot. Larry Pearson, Spartanburg, South Carolina, is trying to qualify this car desperately for Bud Moore. And there's a story here, Buddy Baker, because the last time that Bud Moore failed to qualify,
1972, when they were running the small block and David Pearson was driving the 15
his
car,
dad.
They didn't make it.
Larry's dad, David Pearson, was driving for Bud Moore that year when they lost a motor. They're struggling to get in this race.
Yes, and they desperately need a sponsor. You see, there's no riding on the side of that car number 15.
Sad note here, Larry Pearson for the Bud Moore team could muster nothing more than the 16th position, and that means it could be the end for the Bud Moore team not making this 500.
Jeffrey Bodine from Chemung, New York, driving for Joe Bessie, is right now the man on the bubble. He starts in 15th position. All this train around at 13th and 14th place. There is Irvin, 15th, and Jeffrey Bodine, number 60. Wheel marks all over that car. He's got a shot, but he has got to get past Ernie Irvin, and he's got 1 lap left to do. Earnhardt to win it 10 years in a row. He's won the Gatorade 125. Then it's Mayfield, Jarrett, and here's the bubble battle coming to the stripe. Unofficially, Jeffrey Bodine takes the 15th and final transfer spot. And there is the Joe Bessie crew. 6 weeks ago, this wasn't even a race team. It's just been put together in that short of time, and they're going to the Daytona 500.
Look at Todd Bodine. Todd Bodine sitting there running in 5th or 6th right now. He knows he's got to race in the Daytona 500.
And 4 wide, 5 wide.
And they made it. They made it.
Dave Blaney almost took out half the field coming from the apron up onto the racetrack there. 2 by 2, Earnhardt on the bottom, Skinner up top to squeeze him down. Photo finish.
I will not try to call that. We was looking right down on him.
All right, the other end of the spectrum, Todd Bodine. Was it the 5 wide that got you at the end? That's what everyone wants to know.
Well, no, it wasn't. I tell you, the Kmart Tourist team had a tough January and February. Worked their tails off on this car. We had a decent car in the race, and unfortunately, we got up to 5th, got pitted, made the car better, got up to 5th, and Dave Blaney had a run going into 1 on the last lap. It's a good run. Anybody would have taken it. The problem was he was too close to the corner when he did it, and we got to the corner. We were side by side, and he was on the apron. Slid up into me. Luckily, I saved the car, didn't crash anybody else, and we ended up 17th instead of 5th where we were.
Todd's one of 9 drivers who will be going home today. This car brushed the wall. Rookie Casey Mears.
In the 41 car. There it is, Darrell. You just run out of racetrack over there in turn 2.
He kissed it ever so lightly.
You'll look at the tail of the field right there, the red and white car, Casey Mears in the 41. This is his first Winston Cup start here. He's trying to get into the Daytona 500.
Jimmy Spencer trying to make things happen. Whoa, he gets up almost into Craven.
Boy, here they come. Bump draft, push, push. Get me there first. Get me into Daytona 500. Boy.
Casey Mears.
Casey Mears.
He is in the Daytona 500. Rookie Casey Mears in the 41 car.
What a great
He got the last transfer spot.
Only by inches.
There's your winner, Robbie Gordon, but trust me, Casey Mears feels just as good as Robbie Gordon does right now.
Oh, he feels better. He's a rookie. That's the car that didn't make the race last year. The 41 car was Spencer, and he's in the Daytona 500.
You know, right there at the end, gosh, everything just gets all stacked up, and everybody wants to make this show, and, you know, we had to make it too, so I just hung onto the throttle and stood on it and got her to the finish.
Mike Kenny Wallace had to hit pit road. He feared he had a tire going down. They're looking long time on the left rear tire. On that 00, they did make a chassis adjustment.
Now, who's back there against Kerry? Kenny Wallace in the 00. Battling Kerry Earnhardt, 33 and 00 for the final transfer spot.
See Jamie McMurray in the 42 car. Remember, it wasn't that long ago. He was down a lap.
Down to the line in the first of the Gatorade Duel. Junior below the line. Michael Waltrip wins it in the final 500 feet, and unofficially, Kenny Wallace by 1/100th of a second over Kerry Earnhardt, the last transfer spot.
It was just one move on the white flag lap. I had to run. I swear I was running 220 mile an hour. I went 4 wide, and I'm in the Daytona 500. And let me tell you what, it's going to be in the papers tomorrow. I'm so excited, I can't stand it. I'm just so... $100,000. $100,000 my part. Yes!
6 to go.
Shelburne, Vermont's Kevin LePage, former star of the NASCAR North Series, and that number 37. He has been a full-time Cup driver. He's been in the Busch Series, put this deal together. In fact, he and his wife Donna ran their own Busch team for a number of races last year. He is trying to hang on to the final transfer spot behind Robbie Gordon. Mike Ricci on that left box with Kevin Mannion, the crew chief for Truex. Kerry Earnhardt in the right box. Can either one of them get into the Great American Race? So now it's LePage and Truex in the 2 transfer spots. Stewart, Tony Stewart wins. Jeff Burton second, Kevin LePage third. Martin Truex race his way in the final transfer spot. And Kerry Earnhardt will pack up and head home. So of the drivers not yet qualified, the top 2 finishers in each dual race will make the 500. Then, of the drivers still not yet qualified, the fastest 3 in qualifying speed from Sunday will make the 500.
And amongst the scrutiny that's been going on with Michael Waltrip Racing, they are looking for a silver lining now more than ever. They're looking for fire. They're looking for energy. They want to put Toyota on the map instead of under the microscope.
Michael Waltrip and Johnny Sauter are in the transfer positions right now. Horace said Mike Bliss and open wheeler A.J. Allmendinger trying to race their way in. You know, it's been a while since I've read the book. How old was Cinderella?
Cinderella?
Wasn't she like 18, 20 years old? I bet she wasn't 72. And right now, the glass slipper fits this man.
Yeah.
James Hilton
with sponsorship from Retirement Living, a small cable network that caters to the Geritol set, if you will. He is going to make the Daytona 500 if he can stay where he is or have only Johnny Sauter pass him. If Michael Waltrip Boris said Mike Bliss can't get to him, Hilton's in the race.
You see all the names in yellow there. Those are the guys who have to race in. That is what the 55 crew is monitoring. You can see Michael Waltrip with Boris Said behind him. Now Boris is already in, but then look at after Biffle, look at that clump right there. Mike Bliss, Dale Jarrett, Ward Burton, Kenny Wallace. Those are the guys Michael Waltrip is concerned with, as well as James Hilton and Johnny Sauter in front of him.
Sauter's looking underneath him going into one here. That could be bad news for James.
Yeah, because Johnny has friends with him. See Jimmy Johnson, the 48, Schrader, and the 21, the whole group there, kicking him to the high side. There's the race right there. That's the race right there for the transfer.
Michael Waltrip moves into second transfer spot ahead of Boris Said.
Yeah, once James got up out of the draft, he's pretty well done.
Pressure's on Mike Bliss because Johnny Sauter will be in the 500. He can fall back on his qualifying speed. Mike Bliss cannot. And the past champion of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series going to have to get up on the wheel. He has been in a qualified spot for part of this race. He's got 2 laps to get back there. Here comes Bliss. He could do it. He's past Sauter.
Man, we might be all right here.
He's alongside Said. Here they come to the line.
It's going to be close. It's going to be real close.
Stewart's going to win it. Waltrip is in. Said.
He's trying. Just can't quite get there. Jimmy's trying to give him a little room on the inside between the two of them. Didn't make it.
2 feet away from making the 500. Mike Bliss.
Right now, Jeremy Mayfield is jumping up and down, pulling for Sterling Marlin, because if Sterling Marlin races his way in, Jeremy Mayfield will be in the Daytona 500.
But they just told him if he backs out, they get in. I don't know if he's hurt him or not. I don't know what he's going to do.
But I'm going to tell you what, watch Mike Wallace right there in the 09 car. There's the race right there to get in between the 13, the 14, and the 09.
Marlin has backed out. So that means it's Nemechek and Wallace. Here they come to the flag. Jeff Gordon's going to win his 3rd duel at Daytona. Nemechek's in, and it may be Mike Wallace.
I believe Mike Wallace. Mike Wallace did beat Sterling Marlin back to the line. So Joe Nemechek, as it stands, unofficial, Joe Nemechek, Mike Wallace.
Mike, we made it.
And Sterling Marlin will be in. Jeremy Mayfield will not make the Daytona 500.
My. They touch right there, and then Mike gets a run down the hill. See him turn down just a little bit, and he gets an opening where he can really draft up on the 13 car, which pulled him by the 14.
This is the first time we've seen anybody get away from the lead pack.
That's the biggest lead I've seen anybody have here all week.
There's Kenny Wallace in the 87 car trying to come to the finish line to get him the Daytona 500.
Oh, 3 wide behind the leaders. It sorts out. And the second checkered flag for the Sprint Cup cars in Speed Weeks. Dale Earnhardt Jr. again.
Boy, Menard in the 15 got pushed all the way down on the apron. But think about Kenny Wallace. We know that he will race in the 500. We know that Joe Nemechek, there they are right there. This is actually a single car operation out of Denver, Colorado that's only 3 years old. They've never had a car in the Daytona 500. Now they're going to have 2.
I can't believe it. I am so excited. It's unreal.
Now John Andretti's a veteran, and Ken Schrader started on the front row here several times. And they are going to try to get into the Daytona 500 as well. There is Andretti, who in the preseason didn't have a ride for the Daytona 500.
There's John Andretti in the 34 car. Remember, fresh tires. He drives by David Ruderman in the 00. John's trying to get into the Daytona 500.
And he might just make it, Larry. He has come from nowhere. Look at that thing go.
Right now he's in, but there's still 1 mile to go.
I tell you what, if John Andretti gets in, this will be the feel-good story of qualifying for the 500.
With you here.
Denny Hamlin wins it. Dale Jarrett is in. John Andretti is in.
John Andretti almost beat Dale Jarrett. That shows you right there what 4 fresh tires will do for you.
Well, the other great feel-good story is John Andretti, who raced his way into the Daytona 500 in a car that had never even been to the wind tunnel.
you know, I'm just really proud of this team, what they've done. Bob Jenkins, you know, it's his first Daytona 500. My dad's here, so I'm really excited. I'll be at your soccer game Monday, though, Jarrett.
Congratulations to you.
He's going to run second again.
And who's going to make the show? Gordon wins it, and Riggs is in for Tommy Baldwin's startup team that came down here unsponsored. Scott Riggs is in the Daytona 500.
Yes.
I am so happy for Tommy Baldwin. He just put this team together about a month ago.
Man. I really appreciate it. Guys, you got a good car here. Appreciate all the effort. Hope I made you proud.
I'm proud of Scott Riggs. Got kicked out of his ride, didn't have a job, landed with Tommy Baldwin, and he's in the Daytona 500.
Race back to the start-finish line. I don't think they can beat him. Here comes Kyle Busch in the 18.
What a deal. All right, Kyle Busch and Mark Martin.
But Jeremy Mayfield, unofficially, A.J. Allmendinger will qualify for the 51st running of the Daytona 500.
And another really good effort on the chart of these guys that had to get in. The 41 car, good job for Kyle Busch and his crew. And I'm really impressed with Mark Martin.
Well, the owner of this car better give the driver a raise. Of course, Jeremy owns it himself, but what a day for Jerry Mayfield and A.J. Allmendinger.
They're congratulating each other.
The Daytona 500.
You've had a lot of great moments. Where does this one rank in your racing resume? This one is huge, Jerry.
Man, it is. I tell you, I just can't say enough about all sport. Everybody came on with us, and just can't believe it. You know, 23 days ago, we didn't even have a race team or nothing. Walked in the shop, and 2 hours later, we bought a bunch of cars and went racing. And but we were in it for a long haul, and I said I would never do this if I couldn't do it for a long haul. And I'm just really proud of all my guys. Tony, man, everybody involved. Bobby, I mean, just I can go on and on and on. Just mainly all sport, man. They took a chance with us and sponsored a car and team that, you know, shouldn't even be here right now. So, I mean, I want to thank them, Gary Smith and everybody. Just an emotional day for me, and just that's why I wanted to come back. Pretty awesome.
Todd Bodine, Max Pappas in the transfer spots. Michael McDowell coming with Joe Nemechek.
Oh, boy.
Ooh,
Pappas.
The player is that 55 car at the top of the racetrack there, Michael McDowell. That's the transfer spot right there, the 55 and the 13.
Count it done.
But right now, Todd Bodine in that 27 car, he is the highest running go or go home car. You see him in the black car in the high side, and there goes McDowell to the bottom. He wants the lead of the go or go homers.
I got to give a tip of hat that 27 bunch. What a great job to get that car up there, competitive, and got a shot. It's going to be a drag.
Not over yet.
Check Greg Ray in the air. Jimmy Johnson. Johnson got it.
I mean,
by inch.
6/1000ths of a second.
That's what I said, an inch.
Now, further back at 14th, Michael McDowell. High side is Bodine. Got into the wall. Max Pappas makes the pass. Can he hold on for the last transfer spot? Bodine comes back on the outside, but runs out of room. Max Pappas is in the Daytona 500.
Oh, you're talking about a happy guy. Wait till you interview him. Let's see what the 55 says about all this.
Michael McDowell.
Checkers, it's top. You're all clear all around. Oh, way to go, baby! Way to go! Oh, nice work. I knew we could do it. Good job. Good changes. We're in the Daytona 500.
You know, I just dig really hard. You know, I really wanted to make it. You know, I mean, I'm speechless, man. It's a big day. I'm so happy for me and for the Geico team. And we made it from our heart. I drove it as hard as I could in the last 4, 5, 6 laps, and I'm speechless.
Congratulations.
And he forced his way under it.
And the 92 of Brian Keselowski, Brad's older brother. Little brother giving him a push. Brian's in the spot to make the 500 now.
Mike, you mentioned him. Brian Keselowski is getting the ride of his life, and it's coming from his brother, Brad Keselowski, in that too.
Well, I don't know if he's enjoying it or not, but it's sure paying off for him right now.
Their dad owns Brian's race car. It is a Dodge. They do get engines and technology from Penske. They are, in a sense, teammates. Look at this. Brian Keselowski, rookie contender. He's about to lead this Gatorade duel if Brad can push him through the middle.
There's Bob Keselowski, the dad.
He's got to be absolutely having a come apart. What is he thinking? Run, but they're going to
crash.
Oh, no.
Trevor Bayne is in it along with David Reagan. And Burton will win it over Boyer.
5 1,000ths of a second.
Ryan Keselowski has raced his way into the 500. Kim Burton celebrates. Michael Waltrip finishes third. He races his way into the 500.
I mean, I owe everything to everybody right now. It's Ernie Elliott for helping me with the motors and Dodge for helping us on the car. And this is an old car. It's an old Evernham car built in 06. So, I mean, you know, the old dog just would not hunt all day long. And I'm like, dude, we just have no chance. But you get out in this draft at Daytona and you get a guy that knows what he's doing pushing you. And, man, he can get you to the front.
Congratulations. You're in the Daytona 500.
Talked to Michael Waltrip this morning, loved what he told me. He said, Larry, if I go up there and I finish first or second in the race, with everything that can happen on the last lap, I don't have to worry about where I'm running.
It's true. Michael Waltrip trying to race his way into the Daytona 500. That's his best chance. He has a slim chance to fall back on time, but racing in is the best way to make it on Sunday. Right now, Michael Waltrip and Michael McDowell in the 2 transfer spots. One car
Michael's on pit road. And he's one of those first cars to hit pit road to come in and top off, just needing a few seconds of fuel. They clean off the grill, and he is away for the 2-time winner of the 500.
So that puts McDowell and Bayne.
Oh, Michael spun on the back.
And
Michael crashed down the back. Oh, my gosh, what happened?
The caution is out.
With 8 laps to go.
That's a huge break for all of these drivers that needed fuel, a huge break for Denny Hamlin and Marcus Ambrose especially.
He's down on the apron.
Keep taking their pack just out there to pit road.
When he came up on the racetrack, the thing just jumped around with him.
Yeah, we were plenty fast. I was happy and just had a miscommunication leaving the pits and got down on the apron when I was supposed to be on the track. And I guess part-time competitor, not really understanding all the rules. I just made a mistake. I didn't race here in July. I didn't pit on Saturday night, and I went the wrong way.
And we're down to a minute and a half here, so we're running. I mean, it's not going to be many more laps.
Denny Hamlin goes to the top of the chart with Austin Dillon.
Got one sideways.
And around turn 1 in the wall. And that is Reed Sorensen.
I think it was that quarter panel and the damage he had to the rear of that car that probably caused that accident.
Clint Boyer had been trying to get past Sorensen. Stenhouse, Hamlin, Jimmy Johnson for the win. The Gibbs cars can't catch him. And the last transfer spot, Stenhouse. David Gilliland, 13th.
Yes,
he
sir.
will be in the Daytona 500. Mike Wallace, we talked about him early in the show. And he is 9th at the finish.
How about Reed Sorensen in that 44 car? Finished 6th. When he wrecked on Sunday, he didn't even know if he was going to have a car to run this door.
No, they didn't have a backup car.
You got to love that, guys. You got to love that.
6th place.
It doesn't matter if you're trying to make your first 500 or if you're trying to make your 8th one, which is what Ty Dillon is doing tonight. That pressure is still the same. The advantage to Ty, he has been in this race so many times before that he knows how it's going to play out. And he's going to use that all night long as he tries to get his car in position that it needs to be to make sure he's here on Sunday. He told me a little while ago, Sunday at Daytona 500 is one of the most magical moments in all of sports or anything you can do. He wants to be here. He hasn't even thought about what it would be like missing this race.
A one-off ride for Ty Dillon. He and Timmy Hill must race their way into the 500. They cannot fall back on their qualifying time from last night. That 96 of Ty Dillon, he is in position to race his way into the 500. He is the highest open car right now, Larry. And Ty Dillon's got to keep an eye on the mirror. 2 cars back is Ryan Preece. And if Preece passes Dillon, Dillon's out. Austin Cindric makes the race. And it's Almirola coming to the line. They are 3 abreast. It's Almirola over Christopher Bell and Ryan Newman.
Sure enough.
Nice job.
Great job.
And Ryan Preece is the first open car to finish. Coming off turn 4.
Here's where it's all decided. And by Preece being the first open car to finish, that will lock Austin Cindric into the Daytona 500 on qualifying speed. And Ty Dillon, by a squeaker by about 3 feet, is headed home.